Simon, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Pleasure.
Congratulations on the film as well. It's a big role for you,
Yeah.
and it's quite an intense role as well. How on earth do you get into the mindset of Jack?
It was interesting, actually. A lot of it's there on the page. We did a lot of rehearsing as well, which is nice. You don't always get rehearsal time with film. You know, usually you just hit the ground running, you're straight into it. Whereas, you know, Crispian made sure that we had time in the rehearsal rooms beforehand to go through stuff and, you know, find the character and get it right. But it was kind of, you know, I love Crispian's writing, and it's always handy for an actor when it's on the page. And I think this was very much on the page, you know.
And when you got involved, was it the script that you thought, okay, that's what I want to go to do next?
Yeah, it was a bit of a long process, because Crispian first brought me pretty much an adaptation of Paranoia in the Laundrette, which is Bruce Robinson's short story. And we spoke about it and decided that maybe it could be a feature if it had a third act. So Crispian went away and kind of came up with this third act, and then worked with Bruce a little bit to refine it, and then went away and wrote a feature, and then, you know, that became A Fantastic Fear of Everything, which was a script which had kind of evolved beyond Bruce's original short story.
Okay. And I mean, the set, I visited the set, and it was very intricate. There was so much going on there.
Yeah.
Was that quite inspirational for you as an actor to kind of get in the mindset?
I love the set. Particularly, you came on the flat day, didn't you? Yeah. It was supposed to be like Jack's mind. And the idea was that he was like a child in this place. It was too big for him. It was as if the building had been an embassy or something before, and then it had been reclaimed as a residential home, but it was just slightly too big to live in. Like the ceiling was too high, and and it gave the feeling of Jack being dwarfed by his surroundings and intimidated by them. You know, and I love that kind of thought when it goes into set design. That set, there was so much going on that you'll never see on the movie, but because it was there, it made it a very immersive environment to act in.
It's the kind of thing that you can imagine you watch it again on the DVD, and you'll see it, and you'll see so much.
Oh yeah, there was so many kind of weird kind of paintings and stuffed animals and all the literature. You know, it was all pretty on topic. It was a beautifully put together set.
And the Wall of Death with the
yeah.
That was terrifying for me.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah.
And we didn't see the typewriter next to the toilet, which is a shame, because I quite like that on the set. But
it's the details like that you know they're in there in spirit, but yeah, you don't get to see them.
But it's an unconventional film, though, isn't it? It's not the kind of thing you'd see every day, and that's why I liked it. But was that kind of the thing that you were looking for? You wanted to do something that's a bit different to what you've done before.
I did, and you know, I was aware that I'd had the opportunity to go off and make some big movies and more sort of, let's say, crowd pleasers, and wanted to do something that was a little more sort of you know, what's the word, specific in its appeal, and I just loved this script so much, and it was really nice to come back to the UK having done Mission Impossible and do a film which took going from doing a film which took 7 months to make to doing a film in 5 weeks, you know, was a real breath of fresh air, and both have their merits and both are extremely enjoyable, but it was just nice to get a feel of what that kind of on-the-ground filmmaking is like again. You know?
And it's interesting you say that, because over the last couple of years, you've had Attack the Block, you've had Four Lions, and there's a real sense that there's a new resurgence of British film. Do you find that this is an extension of that?
I hope so, yeah. We're so good at making films in the UK. We've got such great technicians and great talent acting-wise. It's funny working in America, because they're also, you know, that's where the industry exists. That's where you can call it an industry. And yet they're very sort of, you know, in awe of what we do over here, and our actors and our, you know, our sort of, and also I always seem to be working with British camera crews when you're in America. You know, there's always a DP or a camera operator. There's always someone over there from the UK. So we have a very successful, rich tradition here that needs to be exploited, and we do so any way we can. It's just that we don't have the resources, you know.
Sure.
We don't have an industry. We have a lot of people very good at it, trying to make films in the face of zero support from the government, you know.
And this is one of those films that seems to have, you know, fought against the odds a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My final question is about The World's End. I'm really interested to know where you are in terms of script. Are you planning on shooting this year for that?
Oh God, yeah. We want to make it in September, and are absolutely, you know, the script is ready, and we've written it, and it's always going to change, and it will do throughout the writing process and in the editing process. You know, a screenplay is never finished really until the film is locked.
Sure. Because
the editing process is another part of the writing process, but me and Edgar are just waiting to go, and it's just the final things that have to be put in place practical things.
Sure.
But yeah, with all luck in the world, we'll go in September.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Really look forward to seeing how well this does.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you, man.